Okay.
Because it's the worst theme song in all of podcasting.
All
Okay.
right. Well,
Gonna...
we're live to YouTube right now. Let me
Okay.
let me post these out real quick on X or Twitter, whatever the hell he's calling it these days. I don't want to create an event. What? Facebook is weird, man. All right, now we're good to go. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Just drop that ass, bitch, it's Open Micers in the house. Pop that pussy with that Open Micers logo in your mouth. Jason with his bald ass head, Jacob looking in bed. It's Open Micers, bitch, heard what I said. Drop that ass, Open Micers in the house. Drop that ass, pop that pussy, Open Micers in the house. Open Micers in the house, Open Micers is a mouse. Drop that ass, pop that pussy, Open Micers in the house. The mic is now open.
That's right. The mic is now open. My name is Jason Robbins.
I'm Jacob Craig, and I'm very excited to welcome a brand new guest on the podcast tonight. You know him from his dry bar comedy special titled I Read the Comments, as well as his podcast, The Corner Store. It is the one and only E.L. Smith. How you doing, buddy?
All right. Thank you guys. You guys, that theme song, man. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I can't even say gosh. I have to say gosh. Like I'm a 1920s old lady. Like, that was a lot.
It was a lot. I agree with you. It's a lot.
That was a lot. I like after you say dry bar, we played that. It's like clean.
Yeah. The reason that I would never get a dry bar special is that's our kind of sense of humor is our theme song. It initiates the guest very well into what we're going to do over the next hour. Because if they decide that that's not up their alley, then they can just log off the Zoom right there.
I mean, if it's catchy.
Yeah.
They had a nice beat. Yeah, it'll be. I can.
So he sent us a hip hop version that had a nicer beat. And we opted for the acoustic version because it's significantly worse.
See, yeah, it was pretty bad. But everybody has to be an artist, so
Yeah,
right.
I told Jacob we still have a running bet on which comedian or guest is going to just immediately log off as soon as they hear that theme song.
No, it may go popular one day. Who knows? I don't know.
That would be my luck.
Exposure.
That would be my luck. As many things as I've tried to do in the entertainment industry over the last 25 years or so, like that theme song is the one thing I would be remembered for, and I'm just not okay with that.
That's how it works, man. It's always that one thing that you think is like so silly. It goes like Doja Cat, right? The artist Doja Cat.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You remember that song on the internet she had? Like, I'm a cow.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What is this?
Oh my God, Jacob! You've never heard "Bitch, I'm a Cow"?
Yeah.
No.
Dude, go YouTube it as soon as we're done here. I
can't
can't believe
stupid. It was silly and it blew up.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reason she's famous right now is because she made a song about "Bitch, I'm a cow," basically.
Is it anything like "What Does the Fox Say"?
It's not that bad, but it's in that vein.
Yeah.
It's that kind of like meme song where there's just no substance at all. It's just like,
yeah,
pretty much
awesome. Right up my alley. I think Jason, I think whoever dies first as like the ultimate L, the surviving co-host of Open Micers should play our theme song at their funeral. Just as an incentive to stay alive as long as possible.
I can't do that unless I die after my mom, because I don't want her to hear that theme song ever, which I'm kind of hoping she's never listened to this show, which I know she hasn't, because if she had, I would definitely be getting a text message or a call, be like, what is that theme song? Who wrote that?
Either that or this Thanksgiving is going to be very awkward for you.
My Thanksgivings are always awkward.
Aren't they all?
EL, Thanksgiving is coming up, man. What's your family situation like? Like, is there an uncle you're dreading like sitting next to at the gathering?
No, man. I kind of grew up out of all that. Now I just spend time with like me and just my family, immediate family for the most part. But being a kid, I can always remember having that one uncle, like because all our uncles drink, right?
Hell yeah.
But it depends on what type of drunk they are. Like I had this one, he liked to just be funny and just entertaining and just say crazy stuff. So that uncle was always fun when I was growing up. But I don't know. Thanksgiving, I'm just ready for Christmas to come, man. They're already playing holiday music where I'm
Come
at.
on, dude. I know you're not one of those people.
No,
Man.
just playing. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
As soon as Halloween's over with,
holidays.
he's got Mariah Carey loaded up in the CD player. He's like ready to go.
It's gonna be 2 months of that. I mean, I live in a house with like 4 women, so yeah, it's gonna be a lot of Christmas music.
So out there in LA, do they start putting up Christmas decorations like 2 weeks before Halloween, like they do here?
I don't know if they put up decorations, but I think I noticed like the stores doing it more, like the Lowe's and the Home Depot.
Oh yeah,
Like they have like the Christmas stuff right next to the Halloween stuff, and I'm like, it's not even November yet, so people just and they keep pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back. Like they already started. I remember when I was growing up, Christmas was like a week before Christmas. People started being like all into the Christmas thing, but now I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's almost contagious too, man. Like I went to Walmart the other day just to grab some stuff, and they have just all Christmas stuff out. And I'm like, well, we got to go look down the Christmas aisles and smell the candles and pick out a gingerbread house preemptively. And it's contagious.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't like the Black Fridays either, man. Like the waiting in line for a TV. Like I already have a TV. Like, and then you say Walmart. Like, didn't like a Walmart greeter one time got killed like that?
What?
He got trampled. I heard that before. Yeah. Somebody, like for a TV. Now he's dead and gone.
Man, Pop was just trying his best to hold that line, and they broke through.
He thought it was WW2, and it was like, I want to do it. I can do it.
Dude, I can never do Black Friday because I have social anxiety. Just going to Walmart on a normal day, like a Monday afternoon, much less going on like Black Friday. I would probably have a heart attack.
Some people love it, man. They camp out in front of the Best Buy. Like, I just really want that television. Like, I don't think it's anything in the world that will make me sleep outside for like its release. Like,
right.
Like what?
I'll pay an extra $200 so I don't have to do that.
Yeah. Or what's even better is if you don't care about like the doorbuster TVs or whatever, if you just want random stuff, you can go the Saturday after Black Friday and they still have all of the deals on all of the stuff.
Or here's the deal. Like a couple of years ago, I got a TV for like $75 on Amazon for whatever their Cyber Monday thing is. Had it delivered to the house. Didn't have to go anywhere. So that's what I'm gonna do from now on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm too old for all that running around.
But man, as far as the Christmas stuff, I had we had a Halloween show that my band played, and we all dressed up as wrestlers. And I was, 90s era Hulk Hogan, so I had to go get some feather boas from Hobby Lobby. And I walked in Hobby Lobby, and this is like 2 weeks before Halloween, and it looked like Christmas just vomited everywhere in there. I'm like, this way too early for this.
I think you know what I think it is? I think it's because, of course, like corporations and all these people and these businesses see that this holiday probably makes the most money out of all 3 holidays for them. So they're like, let's get the ball rolling early. Let's try to get as much money as we can. So they're like just pumping out Christmas stuff, man. So Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
not Hollywood Hulk, but 90s Hulk.
I wanted to be Hollywood Hogan, but they don't have like the stuff for the Hollywood Hogan era.
That's a good thing. He didn't.
Because if they would have had the Hollywood Hogan stuff, I would have actually died my beard black.
You would have did it.
Bleached the mustache all the way. I would have went all out, but they didn't have any of that stuff.
Oh, you would have got the bandana with it too. All right.
Oh yeah, I did it all. I even bought like a blonde wig with the white hair coming down. Like people were looking at me like, "Holy shit,
brother!" All right, yeah.
That's all I did all night, walking around the bar. What's up, brother?
Man, my favorite character from the '90s wrestling, man, was Macho Man. Though. I like that dude.
Yeah.
That dude.
Dude.
Oh, Elizabeth.
The gas station around the corner from my house has an old ass Slim Jim thing that is it's
Really?
Macho Man. And I asked the lady, I was like, "What are y'all gonna do with that when you're done with it?" And she says, "That's coming home with me." I was like, "All right then."
She had a crush on old.
Yeah, I
Randy.
guess she did.
Do
Jacob,
you want
who
to
was
go
your,
steal it? Let's go steal that cutout of Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, I'm down.
I missed the '90s era of wrestling, but retroactively, my favorite's Mick Foley, I guess, because I met him, and I opened for him. He does stand up now, or has for a couple of years, and he kicked me out of his green room.
Yeah, he's on the stand-up circuit.
Yeah, he does 2 hours telling stories from his book, and everyone loves it.
Is it funny?
It's all right. I mean, it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. Like it's better than it probably should be.
Okay.
He did an episode of Hot Ones last week or the week before.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
I guess I missed that. I wonder if he mentioned me at all, or I don't know.
No, he did.
You think? No. He did kick me out of his green room when we did that show together in Mobile.
That's funny.
In the nicest way possible. He was like, "I need to take a phone call that may or may not have been real," because I was just standing there like an NPC, just like staring at Mick Foley, like I'm about to do something with you.
He heard the door lock. Be like, you know what? I gotta take a phone call. You gotta go.
I will say I did forget the code to the green room, and they did not remind me of what the code was. They did not let me back in that room.
You know who also does stand up? Stormy Daniels.
What?
No way, dude.
Yeah. When you said Mick Foley, it just reminded me of people turned comedians. Stormy Daniels.
Is
She
there
does stand up.
video?
She was at the she was in New York.
Does she
at
do
the
it on a
Stand.
pole?
I don't know. You gotta pay. You gotta pay. See what? But she does stand up. She has been to comedy clubs.
I guess she has a lot of cool stories to tell. I mean, she's lived kind of a great life.
Yeah.
I guess she just talks about Donald Trump's dick for like 20 minutes.
Dude, that's good material, dude. That's good material.
If she did it in his accent, it would be even better. It was huge. It was small. It was huge. Yeah.
Dude, she probably
got
got
a lot of people.
She probably got 30 minutes out of 3 inches, dude. That's some next level material.
I'm gonna have to look this up and see if there's any video on YouTube, because I have to see that.
That's awesome.
Man. Did you guys see Borat 2 when the girl had like Rudy Giuliani in the room?
I saw that clip. Dude. I never saw that movie though.
Rest in peace, Judy, dude. It ruined a man's whole career.
That was funny. He was ready to give it all up.
Oh man.
Dude, imagine your whole legacy. Imagine bringing down the entire mafia in New York, like just being the guardian of New York during 9/11, the mayor, the shining beacon, and then at the end of it, you just get canceled by Borat 2.
Dude, he was America's mayor, man. Like, how do you destroy your legacy so efficiently?
2001 Rudy was the best, dude. He was better than football Rudy. And then he just lets it all go in the second half.
Dude, as soon as I saw that video of him with his brain leaking, I was like, there's something wrong with that guy.
With the old man problems. That's what that is.
That could be you, Jason, but you playing.
Yeah.
That could be you, dude. Let me come over with a Sharpie. Let's see what happens to you.
All right. That's a Patreon video right there.
Yeah, Sharpieing Jason's head for money.
So, EL,
man.
what we like to do on this show, we are called Open Micers. So please tell us what your very first open mic was like.
My very first, my very first open mic. I don't too much remember. I can remember my first time doing stand up.
That'll work.
Yeah, let's do that one.
I could do that. All right. So it was a student contest, and it was at FSU in Tallahassee. And so they had a student contest. They gave everybody like 2 minutes. For that, I only been to a comedy club once before, and that was to take a girl out on a date that didn't end. I wasted my money. Long story short, but I got to see DL Hughley for the first time with the comedy club, and I sat in the front row. And I didn't even know you shouldn't sit in the front row. This was like right when I got out of high school, and I had like
so you went on a first date to the front row of a DL Hughley show. Yes. It was like
with braces, with braces.
Oh no!
Yeah. I didn't know. No one told me. So he literally picked on everybody in the front row. But it was a good show. It was fun, and I'm like, oh man, I want to do that. So like a year later, student contest. They gave everybody 2 minutes. I was super, super nervous. A whole bunch of students, but they wasn't like really like they were like really cheerful. They wasn't like a hostile crowd or whatever. And I got up there, and with the first joke I ever told, it's probably not funny now, but it was like related to Tallahassee. And I was like, you know what the biggest problem is in Tallahassee? It's not crime. It's not, people getting their cars like stolen or whatever. I said the biggest problem in Tallahassee is tow trucks. And everybody just started cheering and laughing because your car would get towed easily on campus because there wasn't enough parking spaces. So that was like a thing that everybody always talked about. So that was the first time I ever got on stage. That's the first time I ever really got on stage was a contest. So after open mics, I guess, things just was a little bit more. I wasn't as nervous on doing that after that. So
is tow trucks a Florida thing? Because
I was going to ask the same question.
You don't call them tow trucks, or you call them?
No, we call them tow trucks.
Okay.
Because we got towed at a comedy show. We had a comedy show over there in Pensacola a few years ago.
Okay.
And we parked, and then we go do the show, and then we come back to the car. And it was kind of like, dude, where's my car? Like, where's your car, dude? Yeah. Dude, where's your car? Where's your car, dude? Come to find out, they towed us because there was one little bitty sign that said, do not park here between the hours of, what did it say, Jacob?
Yeah. It was on a sandwich board, and I couldn't read it up close, dude. I thought it was like the daily specials. And it was like, you can't park here ever, or we're going to ruin your life.
Yeah.
Is it not like the worst feeling in the world when you come out? Because first you think your car is stolen.
Yeah.
So you're like, like.
Oh, we didn't think it was stolen, dude. They towed like 15 cars.
Oh, they did? Oh, wow.
Because they had rolling road work, which meant that they were doing road work. And when it was time for the road work to go on down the street, they towed all the cars that were parked there and put up the signs.
That's crazy. That's good. Yeah, I guess it is a Florida thing, man. I guess it is. So
that's crazy, dude. I guess even the cops in Florida are Florida men.
Yeah.
They just don't even care, dude.
The worst part was the neighborhood we had to Uber to for the towing yard. Holy crap. I thought we were gonna be murdered.
It's the junkyard. It's not going to be in a nice neighborhood. Or they had to put a tow truck company in a nice neighborhood.
No, they're not.
That doesn't make sense. Where's the fun in that? With the dogs barking and the no grass. No, they're not going to do that.
Dude, and the tow truck agent, he was trying to work with us, but he was for real like, I can't let you into that car. I can't let you take the car unless you have proof of insurance. And we were like, the proof of insurance is in the car. He's like, yeah, but that's not proof because it's not on your person. So you can just say it's your car. And we have the key to the car. It's like, how would we have the key and then not? And so we were debating, dude, we hatched this whole plan of like, I'm going to open the gate. You're going to drive through it. I'm going to run. I'm going to get in the car.
I was going to hop the fence, go get in the car, bash through the gate. Jacob was going to jump in.
Well, we were right by the car, so all you had to have done was get in the car, but the gate was closed, so I would have had to run and open the gate real quick and then jumped in the car. But luckily, the guy was just like, "All right, you already paid me, and it's like midnight, so you can just go back to Mississippi and never come back to Florida." And I said, "Yes, thank you. I will never come back to Florida." And you did us both a favor. Why would I come back here?
Oh man.
And I went back probably a year later, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was just a Pensacola thing, but that definitely must be a Florida thing with the tow trucks. Like, if you're a tow truck driver, just move to Florida. You'll never run out of business.
They always are looking for cars to tow, man. Especially, in LA too, man. It's crazy out here because they have so many signs, and the signs say different things for different times and different days, especially downtown. So you like really got to be like super careful where you park. But no. They don't really tow. I guess they tow if you leave it a long time, but not like Florida where they're like waiting around the corner, like in the bushes, just waiting to tow your shit. So
yeah. See, but I would almost rather a tow truck than a boot. Because there's some cities that won't tow you. They'll just put a boot on it, and that's worse. Because then your car's just in this random parking lot, and you got to go pay somebody to get the boot off, and they have to come to your car to get the boot off. Like, just let me go to the place.
I thought a boot was like for unpaid parking tickets, and then they eventually put a boot. But they just put a boot on your car instead of towing it?
Yeah. If you're parked somewhere or your meter runs out or something, they'll put a boot on it, and then you have to go through all this. Yeah, dude, they'll do that in New Orleans and Mobile, Alabama. They'll boot your shit before they tow it.
Wow.
Well, New Orleans isn't so much bad about it anymore because there's hardly any police left in New Orleans. Yeah, right. Now you just have to worry about getting broken into because literally, like the city of New Orleans is sparkling. Like you could see sparkling from space in New Orleans because of all the broken glass everywhere from windshields and shit. Everywhere you go in New Orleans now, there's glass everywhere.
Reflects, but okay.
Yeah, it's just it's like, oh, this is a sparkling city. Oh no, that's just windshield glass everywhere.
It's this major export glass, windshield glass.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Dude, I can just imagine calling the cops for something petty in New Orleans. They're just like, I've had 7 homicides this week. Like, what could you possibly want? It's like, oh, never mind. It's not that important. I'll just deal with it myself.
And there used to be this one parking lot that I always like to stay in because it's right on the corner of the French Market. So I would always park there. It's like, $20 a day or $25 a day to park there. And you can get everywhere really quickly from right there. And the last time I went there to park, we get in the parking lot and I think like 5 or 6 cars just had busted out windows in them. And I'm like, yep, I'm not staying here today.
That's crazy. I've never been to New Orleans, so I don't think I'll be going. No,
it's the craziest place in the entire world, dude.
I drove through it, but I've never been to New Orleans. So
I went to this bar one time in New Orleans that was like the hangout spot after a show because they also did a comedy show, but not on that night. And it was a bar and a laundromat. So there were people just doing their laundry and then getting crunk and playing pool. Yeah, dude.
That sounds pretty cool. That sounds kind of odd too, but
because like in Vegas when they have slots at the urinals, like in New Orleans they sell alcohol everywhere.
Really,
everywhere. So you'll go to a laundromat and you can buy a beer. 100%.
That's crazy.
I mean, if I have to go to the laundromat and get drunk while I'm doing my laundry, I'm for it.
A beer at the laundromat. That's funny how different states are so different. Like, because you could do that in Vegas, in Nevada, and also in California. They sell like liquor in the CVS. But I used to live in North Carolina. None of that will happen. Like no alcohol in the Walgreens and only beer and wine in the grocery stores. So
yeah, that's kind of like us.
Yeah,
and like it's illegal for us to sell any liquor on Sunday. So all the liquor stores have to close on Sunday.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of Utah. Utah's like that too, man.
Not here on the coast, but the rest of Mississippi is that way. No.
Oh, is that a thing?
Really?
Yeah. No alcohol on Sundays. You can't buy your alcohol anywhere on Sunday, which is stupid because people could just go load up on Saturday night. Like why? That's so dumb.
No Chick-fil-A and no alcohol.
Oh yeah.
Two of my favorite things. No. Oh man, they're like none of that. Yeah. I get it.
So I'm curious to know, Yo, do you consider yourself a clean comic, or do you consider yourself a comic who just kind of works clean?
I want to say a comic who just works clean because, I mean, being clean is cool. It just opens up more doors and you just get to more places quickly. But I like the rooms where you could just go up and just talk. You don't have to worry about what you're saying. You may slip up and say something that may offend someone. You could just talk freely. I mean, off top though, I'm just not a real dirty comedian anyway though, so I'm not going to talk about like stuff that's really graphic or like a lot of cursing and stuff like that. But I do want to talk about like certain topics and crazy stuff. But I like being able to do that. So I think I'm a comic who just works clean because working clean, if you just clean all the time, there's some things you think about that you want to say that you can't say. But being clean, like I say, does definitely open doors and get you places. So pick your poison.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I think clean comedy, because I'm sure you're aware of this, that like the bad rap that clean comedians have in the comedy community.
No, I'm not. I'm not, Jacob. Please.
Okay.
Well, let me know. What is it? What could it be?
Well, you see people like constantly criticizing like Jerry Seinfeld and all these other comedians for working clean because they're like, that's not genuine. That's not what you want to actually say. But then you notice that like Jim Gaffigan, Nate Bargatze, they're not getting any of that because it doesn't seem like they're trying to be clean. They're just being really funny and genuine, and it just so happens that it's clean. Like I feel like that's kind of what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and that's what I like because I don't really curse to begin with unless something worth cursing. I just don't curse just to curse or anything like that. So and then plus when I started doing comedy, I started like emceeing, and a lot of times you guys know this when like a headliner comes through, they want to be like the dirty person or they want to be the one that says something.
Yeah.
And if you're the first person up, they don't want you to be dirty because then if the headliner's a clean comic, then it's kind of hard to come behind somebody that was like, dig it, pussy. You can't be like, so I went to church the other day. Like you can't really come behind. You can't come behind that. So I had it in the face. You can't really like follow that or anything. So they're like, if you want to MC here, you got to be clean. If you want to MC and get better as a comedian, you're gonna have to be clean or go nowhere else. Because that was the only comedy club in Tallahassee. So I was like, all right. So it just kind of forced me to just be more on the cleaner side. So I just came up that way, and I did that like for like every other week. I hosted for like 2.5 years. So I just did that just constantly. So that's why I just the type of comedian I am now, and I was able to do dry bar, and I've done a couple of cruise ships too as well. So, yeah.
But do you find that it's more difficult to work clean? Not just because of curse words or anything, but just like subject matter.
I don't think it's difficult. I think because people who come to see a clean show automatically know what they're getting. They're not getting like that full effect. They're getting that, I guess, that clean effect almost to it. Like, so they know it's not going to be over the top. And I think that's exactly what they want. Because sometimes, like for instance, I sometimes when I do a cruise ship, they want like a PG show. So they want like 30 minutes of like straight, like 8-year-olds are in the audience. So it's like you don't really have to like, you can't get up there and be like, oh man, I'm gonna kill this crowd, 12-year-olds. Like you just got to like really just get through it and just say jokes. It doesn't have to be like oh, that was the cleverest thing I ever heard. Like, I have one joke where like, because there's older people sometimes in the audience. I'm like, oh, it's old people, kids, and they want you to like relate. Like, how are you gonna relate both of those things? Like, who's wearing diapers? Like, who's wearing diapers? I'll say something like that.
Yeah.
And like,
I was just about to ask, like, how do you relate? Like, how do you write material that would relate to, like, a room full of children?
yeah, basically, you just sit there and criticize their parents. Of like, why would you bring your son to a comedy show instead of in the front? And you just basically chastise them for the whole time, and the kids like it. So,
What's the deal with nap time?
So about
yeah, you can say stuff like that.
how's them new
Round of applause for
Pokemons?
vegetables, everybody. Vegetables. Round of applause. Who likes them? Who hates them? Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about how Dad stinks up the bathroom.
It's like,
Ooh.
So, have you ever done like a clean comedy show on these cruises or anything, and like someone, like another comic you're performing with, has like accidentally slipped up and dropped an F-bomb?
Not necessarily with me because the ones I do is I'm the only comedian there. But I
Gotcha.
heard a story. I heard a story about a comedian. Hey, what did he do? Oh,
Is
yeah.
it Michael Rickers? Because I know what he did.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm
think-
kidding. It's not.
Oh, you talking about Michael Richards?
Yeah, I know what he did. It's not good.
That guy is crazy, man. Oh my gosh. That interview on Jay Leno is like the funniest thing I ever seen.
Oh,
ever.
It is so awkward. Like, it's one of the most. I watched it live, and I was like, "This is the most awkward thing I've ever seen."
Jerry Seinfeld sounds like somebody's mom. He's like, "Stop it! It's not funny.
Yeah, right.
Stop it! It's like, let my son speak."
He's trying to apologize.
And people were just laughing.
And just no one cared what he did. They were just like, "Yeah, Kramer, dude."
You know, if he took out a gun right then and there, and like just, I would have been like, you know what? I saw that coming. I saw it coming.
Dude, that was the Trump effect. It didn't matter what he did. Everyone was just like, "Yo, dude, Trump, we're all right." Like,
Oh man,
who cares about collusion?
I saw a comedian one time though, and I don't know. This was like, he didn't get kicked out or anything, but I was at a comedy show one time. This is like the worst comedy show I've ever been to. This one comedian, he got up there with sweatpants on. I hope you guys don't. This is not one of your bits.
No, I don't do that.
I don't even.
Like, wait a minute. But he got up there with sweatpants, and then he had a dildo in his pants.
Oh,
it was obviously, but it was obviously like a dildo. It was like huge, right?
Yeah.
And he gets up there, and he does his set, and he doesn't even mention what is going on in his pants. And at the end of the set, he makes some type of like joke, and then he pulls it out. But like he literally walked like four people. Like four people just got up and just left because it was so odd. So that's the worst thing I've seen. So
Oh, man.
I mean, you shouldn't wear sweatpants out in public, but
Yeah. I mean, I would have walked out as soon as I saw him in the sweatpants. I was like, "Oh, come on. Who are you?"
that was his thing, I guess. Sweatpants guy. So.
I mean, I know you say you don't really curse all that much, but have you ever been doing a clean show and just accidentally have something slip out, or
no? I can't say it.
I don't think I could talk more than 3 sentences without an F-bomb dropping out.
Oh man, it's $1 amount to the end of that show. So like,
Oh yeah,
sure. It's like, now if you say I'm getting this to do this, then I'm gonna do this. So I'm not gonna mess up.
So have you been able to do corporate gigs as well?
I haven't done any corporate gigs right now though, but I'm sure I can though. I'm sure I can.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't done those though.
I mean, that's like the biggest perk of doing clean comedy is being able to do those corporates, because those things will pay out, man.
That and colleges too as well. So
yeah,
colleges pay pretty good too. So Yeah, it's benefits to being clean. But I have done regular shows and got like maybe had like one or two beers and like went a little bit more animated than I usually do. But
Yeah.
nothing's still crazy though. I've never walked anybody. So
Yeah. I don't think I've ever walked anybody, but I did do a show one time where it wasn't even a comedy show. It was called a drunk spelling bee,
mm,
where like anyone could compete in the spelling bee as long as you've completed at least one beer, and you have to just spell increasingly harder words like a spelling bee.
I
And
remember doing that, dude. You just unlocked a memory for me.
yeah, you did the second one. I was
Yeah,
I was on the first one, and the I don't I think it was both of us together on one actually, because
yeah. It was me and you and I forgot who else was up there.
I think it was just me and you. But anyways, they wanted warm up comics beforehand, but the guy said, don't do a set because this isn't like real comedy. Just go up there and do like 5 minutes of crowd work or roasting or something. I was like, all right, cool. And I get there at the drunk spelling bee at 8 p.m. and there's children in the bar. And so I'm like, I go up to the owner and I'm like, hey, man, I'm supposed to like do crowd work and roast people in the crowd. And there's kids here. And I'm not gonna, hold back any words. Is that okay with you? And he said, we don't censor
well,
art here. You can do whatever
mhm.
you want. And so I just roasted an 8-year-old girl for 5 minutes. And it
Really?
was the worst feeling of my entire life. I was like, why did I agree to do this? Because what was I going to do? Like, I started doing crowd work, and that little family was almost like, do us. I was like, no, I don't want to.
Hey, mentally
Yeah, man.
scar our children, please.
Right. The kids were not into it, and the parents were just like, yeah, she is like that. And I was like, no, I don't. I hate everything about this.
I think those are not good. Like I don't like those situations of like doing comedy. So like comedy shows where you're performing somewhere and it's not like a real like comedy venue or known for comedy and it's people who've never
Mm.
been to a comedy club. I don't really like those. Like one time I did like a comedy show like at a community center, like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, with the lights all still on. It was like that type of stuff. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not a
Dude,
fan of that.
we
But
used to do a pretty regular show over in Panama City, Florida, at this bar called Slapsticks Q and Brew. Who it's their one thing what they make money off of is pool tables, and then we go there to do a comedy show, and we
mhm.
cover up all the pool tables. And so there's people coming in with their own pool cues, looking around confused, and then just get increasingly angry and start uncovering pool tables and cussing and then slamming stuff loudly because it's a pool bar. They're there to play
Yeah,
pool.
yeah,
They're not there to see us. We've had
that's
so
crazy.
many altercations at that place. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, see, yeah. So those type of like situations are always awkward though. But hey,
But see, like around here, there aren't really any like straight up comedy clubs. So it
hmm
really drives me crazy when there's these bars along the Gulf Coast that want to have like a comedy night, but they don't want to advertise that it's a
yeah,
comedy night. They just expect you to like bring in all these people. And we're sitting there trying to do comedy for like people that are, sitting there eating mozzarella
yeah.
sticks and shit, trying to have like, family time. And we're up there going, so what's up with you guys? Like, they don't want to hear comedy.
Let me tell you about my Tinder date. Like they're like,
Like, they don't care.
what?
They just want to eat their wings
Yeah,
and have conversation. They're just like, get out of my face, funny boy.
yeah, man. People who don't set it up for comedy and just like I don't know, they don't know the reality of doing a comedy show. Like these there has to be certain things that come into play. Like when I first started doing comedy, I would go back home and like half of my family members would be like, "Oh, you're a comedian. Tell us some jokes." I'm like, "No, like what? This doesn't that's not how it works. Like I'm not just gonna sit here in front of the living room and start telling jokes. Like for what? Like just odd stuff like that. So people just don't know how comedy works. Or you get those people, you tell them, I always have this dilemma of telling people I'm a comedian versus not telling them anything at all. Because once you tell somebody you're a comedian, the whole list of questions that's now going to be like asked of you. It's like either like, I never heard of you. Are you funny? Or they're going to be like, oh, that tell me a joke thing, or like, or they try to give you a joke that they have that they've been holding in all this time. I can't tell you how many times I got off stage on like a ship and some guy comes up to me, tells me like the dirtiest joke you can imagine. And he's like, you can use that if you want to. I'm like, no, sir. I'm okay. Thank you. You've been holding that in this whole time. Like, that's I'm like that.
I've had people ask me shit like that before where they're like, find out I'm a comedian. They're like, oh, are you funny?
No.
Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, no, I'm a fucking train wreck. What do you expect?
Jason, you just tell them
like,
the
ever
truth.
seen that movie, The Joker?
Yeah, right.
You could be like, you ever seen that movie, The Joker? I'm just like that. Like,
yeah.
And you just start dancing.
Have you ever seen Jason Robbins stand up? It's horrible.
Hey, I don't dispute
You're
that.
bad.
I
You're
don't
bad
dispute
at
that
comedy.
at all. I'm awful at it.
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
EL, you haven't seen this man. It's pitiful. It's pitiful, EL. I was gonna ask a very profound question, but I completely blanked on it.
Okay.
Top 10. I'm a top 10 interviewer in the podcast game. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell or not.
Oh yeah, I know. It's Joe Rogan and then Jacob Craig. Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. Joe Rogan's a hack, dude. We beat him out for an award one time. He probably didn't even know he was nominated, but we beat him.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. So anyway, I forgot what I was gonna ask.
Okay. No.
Oh,
I'm sure.
No,
I'm sure it was profound.
It just came to me.
Okay.
Have you ever had someone after a show, like give you like career trajectory advice on like how to do this or what you can do to get here?
Have I had someone do that? Yeah, I had someone do that before. I got off stage one time and this one comedian. I think I just moved to this city I moved to, and I get off stage. It's like an open mic, right? But this one comedian comes up to me, and I guess he's like a neighborhood around the guy comedian. He started giving me advice on how to get further in comedy and all this stuff, and I'm just looking at him like, yeah, all right, because he was still like doing this open mic thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
about to perform like at the comedy club. So I don't know. I'll listen to people when they talk, but I don't like. I don't know. I don't like people when they give like advice on like how, especially if they don't even do comedy. When those people who come up to you in the audience and like, you should do this, and those comments like on YouTube.
Right.
Like, I didn't find that funny at all. Like, well, you don't even, shut up. You don't even do comedy, man. So, but no.
Dude, I had this guy one time after a show. I was just walking by, and I'm trying my best to avoid everybody because my friends want to hang out, and I'm like, I want to go back to where we're staying, but I'm going to be forced to walk around all these audience members. I walk outside, and this drunk guy's just like, hey, I saw your set. It could have gone better. And I was like, okay, I like where this is going. He's like, and he said, do you want to know how to get on SNL?
Oh my God.
I'm listening now. How do I get on SNL? Old drunk man outside a bar at 12 a.m. And then he proceeds to try to tell me this like most drawn out, what I assume is like a raunchy street joke, where he's going like, all right, so the girls like the cotton ball, right? And the boys like the earwax in the ear, and then you got to put the white cotton ball into the earwax in the ear. And I'm like, this is how I'm going to get, this is what I need to do for my SNL audition?
That's funny.
I don't know. It went nowhere. Obviously, I'm not on SNL. It didn't work out for me. Lauren Michaels won't return my calls.
It could have been Lauren Michaels who you were
I
talking.
think it was Lauren Michaels outside the bar.
But yeah, man, those people, man, I don't know, man. Those people are like, oh man, they tell you those jokes. I'm like, well, why don't you go up there and do it yourself? I'm like, no. I get people in my family though, instead of saying things like, how can they get on SNL? They say stuff like, you're trying to do comedy. Why don't you just call Steve Harvey? They say stuff like that. I'm like, what? Like, I don't even know how you do that. You just want to pick up the phone. And it's not the yellow pages anymore. They're like,
Right.
just call them. Just call them and tell them what you're trying to do. Like,
just call them and ask for an investment.
Or they'll tell you, you should have a Netflix special. Like, yeah, I'll get right on that. I'll call my people at Netflix. Get right on that.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Man.
I almost hate that as much as like people who don't do comedy giving unsolicited advice is the worst. But I almost hate like when comics give unsolicited advice, because like they'll do it in a condescending way, as to say like, I'm here, you're down here, so obviously you need this advice. And we had this guy early on in our open mic phase who kept like coming back to the same bar and headlining. And I started as an opener for him. And the next time I was the host. And then the next time I was the feature, just like building my way up. And every time he would just give me the worst unsolicited advice. He told me to like, yeah, dude, don't write jokes. Because if you write too many jokes, then you're just going to have too many jokes to memorize.
What?
Just the most hack advice of all time. He's like, you don't want the crowd to laugh too loud when you're telling your jokes, because then you won't be able to get it all out.
What? No, man. I don't really give advice, because when you give people advice, you're basically giving them like how you would see it through your eyes or through your perception, because it's the way you came up there and how you came up in comedy. So you're not really giving them advice, you're just telling them what you would do if you were them in that situation, but you're not that person. Like if I gave anybody anything, it would be like a tag to a joke, or like, because I'll take tags all day. If I think it's funny, I'll use it. If I don't think it's funny, I just won't use it. But a tag, because somebody can give you a good tag to a joke anytime. But you can't give people advice, because I don't know, there's 7 billion people on this planet, right? Who's to say whatever that guy is doing, the sweatpants and pulling the dildo out, he don't have 10,000 people who love that. And he has a fan base. I can't tell him.
It sounds pretty lit, to be honest. It sounds.
Keep at it. Keep at it, buddy. I don't know. Who am I? I don't know. It may work.
It sounds like a viral moment to be waiting to happen.
It may work, and I'll be like, who knew?
And that's the thing. What may work for one person isn't going to work for the next person. It's just kind of like everybody's got to take their own path to get where they need to go.
And then I also think too, when you focus your energy worrying about like what the next person is doing, or what they're getting, or how they're doing it, you're like taking away from what you're trying to do and how you're trying to move forward, and you're actually like slowing yourself down. Because like I say, there's so many people on this planet, dude. It's enough people for everybody to have like a good fan base. They just have to see you. So I mean, you shouldn't worry about what the next person's doing. So
yeah, I think giving people tags is definitely the most respectful way to be like, to give someone advice in a way, or to like say like, if I give someone a tag, I'll be like, here, I respect you as a peer. Here's a tag, give me something back maybe. And I think that's the best way to create a rapport.
Yeah, I think so too. And then if somebody asks for advice, I don't even think I can give advice. I would probably say something along the lines is like, just be who you are. That's it.
Yeah,
you can't be anybody else, but be who you are, and just work on that. The goal is to make them laugh. That's all the advice you need.
Yeah, I have a really bad habit of adopting open micers who like I think are funny, and being like, all right, I want to help do whatever I can to help you get higher up in the comedy world, and I want to give you advice and all this. And the advice is so like, it's such a weird maze to navigate, because I get so mad when I give an open micer advice and then they just blatantly disregard it and it blows up in their face. And I'm like, I told you, dude. I've been doing this 7 times as long as you. I told you that was going to happen.
Well, that's what drove me.
You gotta let people just fall.
That's what drives me nuts about some of the comedians around here, like Jacob. You know who I'm talking about, our pretty much our favorite local comedian, like just so talented, but has zero motivation. I'm just like, if this dude had just 1 ounce of motivation, like he could really do something. But it's like all that talent is just it just keeps getting just dropped, and he disappears for like months at a time.
Yeah, it's that way sometimes, I guess, man. And I guess it all depends on the person, though. Because I guess you need like a balance of like all of it. Because you see people on TV all the time, and you're like, man, that person's not funny, but that person like really works hard or really motivated and dedicated. So I guess it takes all the things to fall into place, I guess, for it to work. I guess. So,
Yeah. Or I think it's just all about being likable, because that's the only way to cultivate a
likable
following
too.
is if people like you.
Yeah, and you can find people who like whoever you are. I think. Whoever that
Okay.
person is that because I mean, so many people. Like, I mean, you can be like the angry comic, like Bill Burr. He has people who like him. He's not like,
True.
I mean, is he likable? Like, I guess he's likable, but he's like mean. You know what I'm saying? Then you have people
Right.
like who's super clean, like Sinbad and stuff like that. And you have Anthony Jeselnik. I mean, you have all sorts of people. So I guess people who like dig your comedy. So yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely likable helps too, though. So as well.
Yeah. Well, I think of like with that example, I think of someone like The Rock, right? Who is like objectively one of the worst actors on the planet, but he's still in every blockbuster movie because he's just the most likable person
Well,
in the
great.
entire
Now
world.
The Rock's never going to come on the show, Jacob. So thanks.
I hate to break it to you, buddy.
He's a new Arnold Schwarzenegger, man. They have to recycle those guys. It was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now it's The Rock. I don't know who's going to be next. It's going to be somebody else. Bit strong guy, terrible actor, a lot of movies.
Jason Momoa.
That may be him. That formula works. It worked for Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get to the chopper. Get to the chopper. Like,
which Arnold, dude, he got better at it. Like as like the movies he's been making, like not recently. He had a sweet spot from like 2015 to 2020 where he did just all these art movies that are really fantastic.
how many years did it take him to get up to that? He was
like 40 years. Yeah, you're right.
40 years of acting school.
Right.
To get to where he's better at it.
He's getting better. He's getting there.
I was watching an interview with him not too long. It might have been on Jimmy Kimmel or somebody like that, where he was talking about early on he had taken he had gotten a coach or to help him get rid of his accent. And they were like, well, what happened? Because he never got rid of. You would think after living in America for 60 years, he would lose that freaking accent.
That's his moneymaker, man. He says it with the corniest lines, like, "Where's Billy? You have to get your train." He said, "Have a nice flight," and the guy got sucked up by the propeller or something like that. I don't.
Yeah. I'm convinced he got a voice coach to help him keep the accent.
Maybe.
Because why else would anyone see an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie if he's not doing the voice?
Oh, that would be such an odd movie. I just thought about that. Like, he was just talking like a regular person.
Yeah, he was just like, well, I guess we're gonna get to the chopper, and then we're gonna run, I guess, and then hide from the predator.
One of these days, he's gonna put one of those videos out where he's like, "I have to tell you people the truth. I do not talk like this anymore. Now I sound like this. I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger from Austria, and this is my real accent." No.
He's gonna do that when he's gonna be selling like reverse mortgages. You know, when those actors get old.
Colonial Penn.
Colonial. This is Joe Namath for Colonial Penn. I'm like, oh my god,
$9.99 a month plan.
This is what you need. Reverse mortgages now.
So yeah, man, he's gonna get there, man.
If there's anybody that could convince me to get a reverse mortgage, it would be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'll be back. You get your home back, I promise.
Well, we're coming up on the end of the episode. EL, what do you got going on as far as like a tour stuff, all that? Where are you playing? Where are you coming up soon?
Man, where am I playing? I got a college showcase that I'm doing to hopefully get booked for some colleges. I'm doing that like in the next 3 months or so, at the Hollywood Improv later this month. And other than that, man, just chilling at home. I just got off a cruise ship like in August, so I'm kind of like coming down from that still. I was on there for like a month and a half, so I'm just trying
Wow.
to take it easy right
That's a
now.
long
So
time to be at sea.
yeah, it was definitely a long time. It was definitely a long time, but I got to go to Alaska and I got to see
Nice.
that, so that was pretty cool. So I can't argue. So
I might have to start
but it was
working clean, Jacob, so I can get me a cruise ship gig.
great.
Yeah, there you go, man. Tone it down
It's
to a
fun, man.
PG-13. Quit working hack, Jason, and you might be able to get there, buddy.
Thanks, man. Well, tell everybody about your podcast, too.
Oh yeah, and I got a podcast. It's called the Corner Store Podcast. So basically, I just riff on certain things I just want to talk about. Like, I don't know, when I was growing up, it was always a corner store at the end of the street.
Mm-hmm.
It was always a bunch of guys hanging out right under the no loitering sign,
Mm-hmm.
just talking all day. So just talking about nonsense and craziness and the things that go on and the crazy things that pop into my head. So yeah, just check it out, man.
Yeah, go check him out at Linktree / EL Smith at EL Smith Comedy, and I'll put that link in the show notes. And Jacob, what you got coming up? I know we both have a show coming up here soon.
Yeah, man, you can catch both of us December 1st, Vinyl Music Hall in Pensacola. I'm opening up for Mo Alexander, and I'm bringing Jason Robbins with me to do a guest spot because Mo said I request Jason Robbins to come do a guest spot on my show. How else could people enjoy the full capacity of the Open Micers universe if it wasn't all three of us? These are his words, not mine. And he said, I'm also going to buy 13 more possums at the end of this whole rant so that I can start my own possum nursery and start selling possums after they suckle from my teats. This is all what Mo Alexander said.
I think we need to have an intervention with Mo on his, his collection
it's too many possums.
It's too many. It's way too many. I mean, one possum is enough. He's got like 7 now. So I think we need to have an intervention with Mo.
He's 7 possums away from being at odds with the Fantastic Four. Like, it's too many possums, dude. He's going to turn into Possum Man. But anyways, December 1st, Vinyl Music Hall, Pensacola, Florida. Me, Jason Robbins, Mo Alexander. We're bringing the whole gang. We might do a little vlog on the way. Who knows what's going to happen, dude? And of course, as always, we have great stuff planned for the Patreon. So make sure you get into it. Patreon.com/OM podcast.
And my band Falls from Grace is going to be playing a place called the Drifter Hotel in New Orleans on November 25th. I've never heard of this place before. I don't know where it is, but it sounds like there might be bodies hidden in certain places. So we'll see.
Yeah, Jason's not coming with me December 1st because he's going to be dead and gone.
I'll be a part of. I'll be the reason they call it the Drifter Hotel because I'll be a dead drifter under the floorboards somewhere in there. So that's gonna be fun. EL, thank you for coming on the show, man. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it. Thank you guys, man. Have fun.
And we're going to go ahead and walk out the door. And if you want to email us, you can email us at openmicerspodcast@gmail.com. Our link tree is linktree/openmicerspodcast. And, of course, go use the code OMPodcast at brescoffeeco.com for 10% off of your order. And we love you guys, and we will see you all next week.
Farts out of respect this episode.
All right, and that's an episode. Thank you, everybody, that's going to be watching this on YouTube, and we will see you guys next week.